Welcome to Just Listen Books channel. Immerse yourself in the world of literature as we summarize books and deliver them in audio form. Perfect for your car rides, travels, and daily activities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. Let the journey into the world of books begin. Start with Why: How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. By Simon Sinek is a book that delves into understanding why some organizations and leaders have a significant impact and are able to inspire action in others. Here's an extended summary. Chapter 1. The Golden Circle Concept. Simon Sinek introduces a framework called the Golden Circle, consisting of 3 concentric circles: why, how, and what. The why is at the center and represents a person's or organization's core belief or purpose. The how details the specific actions taken to realize the why. The what is the outermost circle, encompassing the tangible results of the how, such as products or services. Here's a detailed look at this chapter. 1. Introduction to the Golden Circle. Simon Sinek presents the Golden Circle as a model with 3 concentric circles, each representing a fundamental question: why, how, and what. This model serves as a metaphor for understanding how certain leaders and organizations think, act, and communicate. 2. The 3 layers, explained. Why, inner circle. This is the core of the Golden Circle and represents the purpose, cause, or belief that drives an individual or an organization. It's the reason an organization exists or a leader leads. Sinek emphasizes that very few people or organizations can clearly articulate their why. How, middle circle. These are the processes or actions taken to realize the why. They are the specific values or principles that bring the why to life. In an organizational context, these could be the unique selling propositions or differentiators that make the company stand out. What, outer circle. This layer represents the results of the how, the tangible things like products, services, job functions, or any physical manifestation of the organization. Most people and organizations know what they do. 3. Communication from the inside out. Sinek argues that most individuals and organizations communicate from the outside of the circle inwards, starting with what, then how, and often not even getting to why. However, inspired leaders and organizations operate from the inside out. They start with why and then move outward to how and what. 4. The importance of knowing your why. The chapter stresses that knowing your why is crucial because it communicates your belief. When an organization or a leader clearly articulates their why, it attracts others who share the same belief. This is the basis for building trust and loyalty. Real-world examples. Sinek uses real-world examples to illustrate the power of starting with why. For instance, he contrasts Apple with other computer companies to show how Apple's clear sense of why, challenging the status quo and thinking differently, helps it innovate and remain a market leader. 6. Impact on decision-making and trust. Decisions made and actions taken from the why are more resonant and can foster a deeper sense of trust amongst employees, customers, and other stakeholders. This is because decisions based on why appeal to the emotional limbic part of the brain. 7. The role of leaders. Leaders who embrace the Golden Circle philosophy and communicate their why clearly are better positioned to inspire and lead. They set the tone and culture of an organization, making it more than just a place to work or a business to transact with. 8. Challenges in maintaining the why. The chapter also touches upon the challenges organizations face in maintaining their why, especially as they grow. It's easy to lose sight of the why amidst expansion, diversification, or the pressures of managing day-to-day operations. Chapter 2. Importance of starting with why. The main argument of the book is that while most companies approach their business from the outside of the circle inward, what, how, why, the most successful and inspiring leaders and organizations operate from the inside out, why, how, what. They begin with a clear understanding of their purpose, which then informs everything they do. Here's a detailed look at this chapter. 1. The core argument. Sinek posits that most businesses and leaders communicate by starting with what they do, some then explain how they do it, but very few articulate why they do what they do. The chapter argues that reversing this order and starting with why is key to inspiring others and achieving sustained success. 2. Why matters. The why represents the purpose, cause, or belief that drives an individual or organization. It's the reason for an organization's existence beyond just making money. This chapter delves into why understanding and articulating this core belief is crucial for any leader or organization aiming to inspire and motivate. 3. Building trust and loyalty. By starting with why, organizations can connect with employees, customers, and stakeholders on a deeper emotional level. This connection builds trust and fosters loyalty, as people are drawn to causes and beliefs that resonate with their own values and ideals. 4. Differentiation in the marketplace. The chapter discusses how starting with why helps organizations differentiate themselves in a crowded marketplace. Products or services can be copied, but a deeply held belief or purpose cannot. This unique why sets companies apart. 5. Inspiration versus manipulation. Sinek contrasts inspiring people with manipulating them. Many organizations rely on manipulative tactics like promotions, price drops, or fear to drive short-term results. In contrast, inspiring people through a shared belief or purpose leads to longer-term engagement and loyalty. 6. Real-life examples. The chapter is rich with examples to illustrate the concept. Companies like Apple are cited for their ability to inspire through a clear why, such as Apple's commitment to challenging the status quo and promoting innovation. 7. The role of leaders. Sinek emphasizes the role of leaders in articulating and embodying the why. Great leaders inspire action by communicating their vision and purpose clearly, thus encouraging others to follow, not because they have to, but because they want to. 8. Emotional connection. The importance of the limbic brain, which governs feelings and decision-making, is discussed. When leaders communicate their why, they connect with others on an emotional level, which is more powerful and enduring than any rational or analytical argument. 9. Sustainability and adaptability. The chapter also touches on how starting with why helps organizations sustain success and adapt to change. When the why is clear, it can guide decision-making and strategy, even as the external environment shifts. 10. Challenges in maintaining clarity of why. The chapter concludes with a discussion on the challenges organizations face in maintaining clarity of their why, especially as they grow and undergo changes. Leaders must continually reinforce and revisit their core purpose to stay true to their founding principles. Chapter 3. Biological basis of why. Sinek connects his theory to human brain biology. He explains that the why correlates with the limbic brain, responsible for feelings and decision-making processes but not language, making it hard to articulate our beliefs and emotions. Here's a detailed look at this chapter. 1. Connecting biology and behavior. Sinek begins the chapter by linking the golden circle concept to the human brain's structure. He posits that the why, how, and what correspond to different layers of the brain, each responsible for different types of thinking and behavior. 2. The limbic brain and why. The why is associated with the limbic brain, which is responsible for feelings like trust and loyalty, as well as all human behavior and decision-making, but not language. This part of the brain processes emotions and intuitions, which often guide our most fundamental decisions. 3. The neocortex and what. The what corresponds to the neocortex, which is responsible for analytical thought and language. The neocortex processes rational, logical information and is involved in more complex thinking, like data analysis and rationalizing behaviors. 4. Decision-making process. Sinek explains that while we can understand vast amounts of complex information, like features, benefits, facts, and figures, all processed in the neocortex, our decisions actually come from the limbic brain. This implies that how we feel about a decision is more influential than what we think about it. 5. The role of how. The how elements in the golden circle are the bridge between the limbic and neocortex parts of the brain. These are the actions taken to realize the why, and they're influenced by both emotional and rational factors. 6. Difficulty in articulating. Why? Because the limbic brain is responsible for our feelings and decisions but lacks language capacity, it's often challenging to articulate our why. This explains why putting feelings into words can be hard and why real purposes and beliefs are often felt rather than explained. 7. Influence on leadership and communication. The chapter discusses how effective leaders and communicators tap into the limbic brain. They articulate their purpose, why, in a way that speaks to people's emotions, thereby guiding behavior and decision-making. 8. Biological basis of trust and loyalty. Sinek further explores how biology underpins trust and loyalty, essential elements in leadership and marketing. He describes how communicating from the why aligns with the way the human brain naturally operates, fostering deeper connections. 9. Implications for organizations and marketing. This understanding of the brain's biology has significant implications for how organizations should approach leadership, culture, marketing, and branding. A message that resonates with the limbic brain will be more powerful and lasting. 10. Real-world applications. The chapter includes examples of how understanding the biological basis of why can be applied in real-world settings, from leadership strategies to marketing campaigns, to create more meaningful and effective connections. Chapter 4. Inspiration over manipulation. The book contrasts two different approaches to influence: manipulation and inspiration. Many companies rely on manipulative strategies like pricing tactics, promotions, or fear-based tactics. However, organizations that start with why tend to inspire rather than manipulate, creating a more loyal customer base and a more dedicated workforce. Here's a detailed look at this chapter. 1. The pitfalls of manipulation. Sinek starts by discussing common manipulative tactics used by businesses and leaders, such as price drops, promotions, fear, aspirations, and novelty. While these methods can drive immediate results, they are not sustainable long-term strategies because they don't create loyalty. 2. Short-term gains versus long-term loyalty. The chapter emphasizes that manipulation leads to short-term gains at the expense of long-term loyalty. Manipulative strategies might increase transactions, but they do not foster trust or loyalty among customers or employees. 3. The power of inspiration. In contrast, Sinek advocates for inspiring people instead of manipulating them. He argues that organizations that start with why, that communicate their purpose, cause, or belief, inspire loyalty and trust. This inspiration leads to lasting relationships with customers and employees. 4. Examples of inspiration. The chapter is enriched with examples of companies that have successfully used inspiration over manipulation. These companies have a clear sense of why and have aligned their actions and communications to reflect this core belief. 5. Building a culture of belief. Sinek discusses how starting with why helps in building a culture of belief within the organization. This belief system attracts employees and customers who share the same values, creating a strong community around the brand. 6. Emotional connection. The chapter revisits the concept of the limbic brain, responsible for emotions and decisions, and neocortex, responsible for rational thought, explaining how inspirational leaders and organizations appeal to the limbic brain, thereby creating a more profound and emotional connection. 7. The role of trust. Trust is a key theme in this chapter. Sinek explains how inspirational leadership fosters an environment of trust, both internally among employees and externally with customers. Trust leads to increased loyalty, which is more valuable and lasting than any transactional relationship. 8. Sustainability of inspiration. Unlike manipulation, which often needs escalating incentives to maintain the same level of engagement, inspiration is sustainable. Once people buy into a why, their loyalty remains even without constant external incentives. 9. Long-term success and fulfillment. The chapter argues that businesses and leaders that inspire rather than manipulate are not only more successful in the long run, but also find more fulfillment in their work. They create a legacy that goes beyond products or services. 10. Challenge of shifting from manipulation to inspiration. Sinek acknowledges that shifting from a strategy of manipulation to one of inspiration is challenging. It requires a deep understanding of the organization's why and a commitment to align all actions and communications with this purpose. Chapter 5. Apple as a case study. Apple Inc. is frequently cited in the book as an exemplary company that operates with a clear why. Apple's success is attributed to its core belief in challenging the status quo and thinking differently, which is evident in all its operations, from product design to marketing, thereby creating a strong, loyal customer base. Here's a detailed look at this chapter. 1. Apple's distinct why. The chapter opens by identifying Apple's core why, their drive to challenge the status quo and to think differently. This fundamental belief is at the heart of everything Apple does, from product development to marketing. 2. Contrasting why with what. Sinek contrasts Apple with other tech companies to highlight how starting with why makes a difference. While other companies focus on what they do, selling computers and electronics, Apple communicates why they do it, challenging the status quo and enabling people to think differently. 3. Consistency across products. The chapter examines how Apple's why is evident across all its product lines. Whether it's computers, smartphones, or music players, each product reflects the company's core belief in innovation and breaking conventions. 4. Marketing approach. Sinek analyzes Apple's marketing strategies, showing how they differ from the norm. Instead of listing product features and benefits, Apple's marketing focuses on conveying a message aligned with their why, which resonates more deeply with their target audience. 5. Customer loyalty. The chapter discusses the resulting customer loyalty that Apple enjoys. This loyalty is attributed not just to the quality of their products, but also to the way the company aligns its actions with its core beliefs, creating a strong emotional connection with its customers. 6. Leadership and culture. Sinek also touches on Apple's leadership and corporate culture, which are deeply infused with the company's why. He illustrates how Apple's leaders have consistently made decisions that reinforce their core beliefs, further strengthening the brand. 7. Impact of why on innovation. The innovation at Apple is also seen as a direct outcome of its clear why. This focus on challenging norms has led Apple to disrupt multiple industries, from personal computing to music and telecommunication. 8. Communicating the why. The chapter highlights how Apple communicates its why through storytelling and branding, not just through its products. This communication strategy creates a narrative that customers and employees can identify with and rally around. 9. Differentiation from competitors. Sinek points out that Apple's strong sense of why differentiates it from competitors. While other companies might offer similar or even superior products, they often struggle to inspire the same level of loyalty and advocacy. 10. Lessons from Apple's success. Finally, the chapter concludes by drawing lessons from Apple's success that can be applied by other leaders and organizations. The key takeaway is the importance of identifying and staying true to your why, as this is what ultimately drives sustainable success and loyalty. Chapter 6. The Wright Brothers versus Samuel Pierpont Langley. Sinek presents the story of the Wright brothers' successful flight, in contrast to Samuel Pierpont Langley's unsuccessful attempts. Despite Langley having better funding and resources, the Wright brothers were driven by their belief and passion for flight, which ultimately led to their success, demonstrating the power of a strong why. Here's a detailed look at this chapter. 1. Introduction to the competing parties. The chapter sets the stage by introducing Samuel Pierpont Langley, a well-funded, well-connected individual, and the Wright brothers, who had little funding and few connections. 2. Langley's motivation and approach. Sinek describes how Samuel Langley was driven by a desire for fame and fortune. He had significant financial support from the government and hired the best minds. However, his motivation was more about the result, being first in flight, and less about the passion for flying itself. 3. The Wright brothers' drive and passion. In contrast, the Wright brothers were driven by a cause, belief, and purpose. Their why was their passion for flight and the belief that it could change the course of the world. They had no external funding and worked on their project in a small bike shop. 4. Different team dynamics. The chapter highlights the different team dynamics. Langley's team, motivated by compensation, was not as committed or passionate as the Wright brothers' team, which was deeply committed to the cause and worked cohesively. 5. The role of belief and trust. Sinek discusses how belief in the vision and trust among the team members was pivotal for the Wright brothers. Their strong belief in their cause united their team and drove their innovation. 6. Outcome of the pursuits. The Wright brothers ultimately succeeded in achieving the first powered flight, while Langley, despite his advantages, failed. Sinek attributes this to the Wright brothers' stronger sense of why and their intrinsic motivation. 7. Public and historical perception. Following the achievement of the Wright brothers, Langley could have continued his work but chose to give up, suggesting his motivation was not the passion for flight, but rather the fame and recognition that would come with it. 8. Implications for leadership and success. The chapter uses this historical example to draw broader implications about success and leadership. It illustrates that having a clear why, a purpose and belief, can lead to greater achievements than just working for results or recognition. 9. Passion versus external rewards. Sinek emphasizes that passion and belief, intrinsic motivation, are more powerful and enduring drivers than external rewards, extrinsic motivation, like fame or money. 10. Lessons for modern organizations. The chapter concludes with lessons for contemporary leaders and organizations. It underscores the importance of a strong, clear why in driving teams towards innovation and success, rather than relying solely on financial incentives or prestige. Chapter 7. The role of leaders and followers. The book emphasizes that true leadership is not just about being in charge, but about taking care of those in your charge. Leaders who embrace and communicate their why effectively create an environment where people feel inspired and safe, fostering loyalty and commitment. Here's a detailed look at this chapter. 1. Defining leadership. Sinek begins by defining leadership not as a rank or position, but as a responsibility to those in their charge. A true leader worries about the well-being and development of their people and the cause they are pursuing. 2. The role of a leader. The primary role of a leader, according to Sinek, is to inspire, to provide people with a reason to come together to achieve something remarkable. This is where the concept of why becomes pivotal. Leaders who clearly articulate their why attract followers who share their beliefs. 3. Leaders need followers. A crucial point made in this chapter is that leaders cannot exist without followers. Leadership is not about being in charge, but about taking care of those in your charge. True leadership is about creating an environment where people can work to their natural best. 4. The biology of trust. Revisiting the biological aspect, Sinek discusses how the human body responds to feelings of safety and danger. In environments where leaders make their people feel safe, there is a release of oxytocin which fosters bonding and trust. 5. Creating a circle of safety. The concept of the circle of safety is introduced, where leaders protect their people from external threats and dangers. In such an environment, people feel secure, trust each other, and cooperate more effectively. 6. The impact of a shared why. When leaders and followers share a why, it creates a powerful, loyal relationship. Followers understand and believe in the vision and purpose of their leader, which fosters a strong sense of community and belonging. 7. Contrast with manipulation. Sinek contrasts this approach with organizations where leaders use authority or manipulation. In such environments, people may follow, but they lack the deep commitment and connection that comes from sharing a belief or purpose. 8. The role of vulnerability. The chapter discusses the importance of vulnerability in leadership. By showing vulnerability, leaders signal to their followers that it is safe to explore, innovate, and express themselves, thereby fostering a strong and innovative culture. 9. Leading by example. Sinek emphasizes the importance of leaders walking the talk. Leaders who embody their why inspire their followers to adopt similar behaviors and attitudes, leading to a cohesive and motivated team. 10. Leaders as visionaries. The chapter ends by reiterating that leaders are responsible for the vision, the why, and must communicate this vision clearly. When leaders do this effectively, they attract followers who help turn the vision into reality. Chapter 8. The Law of Diffusion of Innovation. This law is crucial for understanding how ideas and products gain traction in the market. Sinek explains that success requires appealing to early adopters and innovators who are attracted to the underlying why of a product or idea. Here's a detailed look at this chapter. 1. Overview of the law. Sinek begins by explaining the law of diffusion of innovation, which is a theory that seeks to explain how, why, and at what rate new ideas and technology spread through cultures. It's presented as a bell curve divided into segments based on people's willingness to adopt new ideas. 2. The segments of the curve. The curve is broken down into 5 segments. Innovators, 2.5%. Early adopters, 13.5%. Early majority, 34%. Late majority, 34%. And laggards, 16%. Each group represents a different segment of the market psychology. 3. Innovators and early adopters. Sinek focuses particularly on the importance of innovators and early adopters. Innovators are willing to take risks and are the first to try new ideas, while early adopters are a crucial group because they are not just the first to try new things, but also provide the social proof that encourages the early majority to adopt a new idea. 4. The role of why in adoption. The key argument is that innovators and early adopters are drawn to the why behind an idea or product, not just the what. They are interested in the purpose and belief behind the innovation, which aligns with their own beliefs about the world. 5. Crossing the chasm. One of the most important concepts in this chapter is the idea of crossing the chasm between the early adopters and the early majority. This is often the most challenging step and requires more than just a good product. It requires a belief that the product is aligned with the values and beliefs of the consumer. 6. Examples from real business. Sinek uses examples from real business cases to illustrate how companies have successfully crossed this chasm. He highlights how successful companies like Apple have managed to appeal to early adopters through a clear articulation of their why. 7. Importance for leaders. For leaders, understanding this law is crucial for spreading their ideas or products. Leaders must focus on their why to attract early adopters who will then bring along the early majority. 8. Building a loyal customer base. The chapter discusses how focusing on why helps in building a loyal customer base that believes in the company's cause. This loyalty goes beyond the products and services and is rooted in shared values and beliefs. 9. Sustainability of innovation. Sinek also touches on the sustainability of innovation, asserting that it is not just about being first, but about being the first to establish a strong connection with the why in a way that resonates with the early adopters. 10. Implications for marketing and communication. Finally, the chapter concludes with implications for marketing and communication strategies. Companies need to communicate their why to connect with the early adopters, who are essential in driving mass market adoption. Chapter 9. Discovering personal why. Start with why also guides readers on a personal journey to discover their own why, emphasizing that this is a discovery process to articulate deep-seated beliefs and motivations. Here's a detailed look at this chapter. 1. Introduction to personal why. Sinek introduces the concept of personal why as an individual's purpose, cause, or belief that gives their life meaning and drives their actions. 2. The importance of knowing your why. The chapter emphasizes the importance of discovering one's own why. It explains that understanding your why gives clarity, makes you more self-aware, and helps you make better life and career choices that are aligned with your values and beliefs. 3. The challenge of articulating why. Sinek acknowledges that articulating one's why can be challenging, as it often involves deep introspection and self-reflection. It's about identifying what truly motivates and inspires you, beyond external factors like money, fame, or recognition. 4. Process of discovering why. The chapter guides readers through the process of discovering their personal why. This involves looking at past experiences and identifying a pattern in the moments that made them feel fulfilled and inspired. 5. Reflecting on personal stories and experiences. Sinek suggests reflecting on personal life stories and experiences, especially those where one felt incredibly satisfied and motivated. These stories often hold clues to one's true why. 6. Themes and patterns. The book guides readers to look for themes and patterns in their stories. These recurring themes can point towards an underlying purpose or cause that drives an individual. 7. Drafting a why statement. Sinek advises creating a why statement, a simple, clear sentence that declares one's why. This statement should encapsulate the essence of an individual's belief that inspires action. 8. The role of why in life choices. The chapter discusses how having a clear why can guide life choices and career paths, leading to greater fulfillment and alignment in professional and personal life. 9. Why as a constant. While the what and how might change over time, Sinek points out that an individual's why is a constant. It's a fundamental belief that remains stable, guiding their journey through life. 10. Application in everyday life. The chapter concludes with advice on applying one's why in everyday life. This involves making decisions and taking actions that align with one's core belief, leading to a more authentic and fulfilling life. Chapter 10. Maintaining the why for long-term success. The book concludes with the argument that sustaining the why is essential for long-term success and resilience. It involves being flexible in the how and the what, but maintaining a steadfast focus on the core purpose or belief. Here's a detailed look at this chapter. 1. The challenge of keeping the why clear. Sinek starts by addressing the challenge organizations and individuals face in keeping their why clear. He notes that as organizations grow, the clarity of the why can get diluted, overshadowed by short-term gains, market pressures, or operational complexities. 2. The risk of losing the why. The chapter highlights the risks associated with losing sight of the why. It can lead to a decline in innovation, a loss of customer loyalty, and a decrease in employee satisfaction. Sinek underscores that losing the why means losing the guiding principle that provided the organization its strength and uniqueness. 3. Consistency is key. Sinek emphasizes the importance of consistency in action and message. He argues that every product, decision, and communication must align with the why to maintain authenticity and build trust with customers and employees. 4. The role of leadership. Leadership plays a crucial role in maintaining the why. Leaders must not only embody the organization's why, but also continually communicate and reinforce it within the organization. 5. Evolution versus revolution. The chapter discusses how the what and how of an organization can and should evolve over time. However, the why should remain a constant. A revolution in why can confuse and alienate both employees and customers. 6. Examples of lost why. Sinek provides examples of companies that lost sight of their why and suffered as a result. He analyzes how shifts in focus or leadership led to a deterioration in company culture and market position. 7. Rediscovering the why. For organizations that have lost their why, Sinek discusses ways to rediscover it. This often involves going back to the founding principles and understanding what made the organization unique and successful in the first place. 8. Adapting to change while maintaining why. Sinek acknowledges the need for adaptation and change in a dynamic business environment. He advises on how to innovate and adapt in ways that are consistent with the why. 9. Individual application. Extending the concept to individuals, Sinek talks about the importance of individuals maintaining their personal why for long-term fulfillment in their careers and lives. 10. Conclusion. The lasting impact of why. The chapter concludes with a discussion on the lasting impact of a well-maintained why. Organizations and individuals that stay true to their why enjoy sustained success, meaningful impact, and leave a lasting legacy. Overall, Start with Why offers a thought-provoking and insightful look into how leaders and organizations can inspire action and achieve enduring success by focusing on their core purpose and beliefs. It's a valuable read for anyone interested in leadership, organizational culture, and personal development. For a comprehensive understanding of the book's full scope and depth, reading the complete book is highly recommended. You can find the link in the description. Please note that it's an affiliate link, which means that purchasing the book through this link not only gets you a great read, but also supports our channel's growth. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Your support means the world to us. Click subscribe and hit the bell to be the first to enjoy our upcoming audiobooks. Together, let's continue this amazing journey through stories and tales.